Ornamental, elegant, personal. Today we trade with SMALLS, all-around artist from Italy. We talk boats, dioramas, plumbing, and his upcoming book and workshop in Paris. Welcome to TradeMark.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a dans le dos? Un tatouage.
Le tatouage est une façon de se fixer une dent, de fixer une époque.
On dirait une reproduction d'un Modigliani.
Eh bien, cela montre combien le tatouage est un besoin.
Je vous laisse avec ces aiguilles.
When you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're ready.
Ciao, Simone.
Ciao.
It's very funny how we're meeting today because Jean told me a lot about my Italian friend.
Okay.
I have no idea who you are.
Yeah, I think no one knows.
No, but he didn't even tell me your name or what you do. So I'm really discovering everything today.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So how would you introduce yourself?
How would I introduce myself? I would just say my name is SMALLS. I'm a lettering artist.
Okay.
Yeah, I especially make tattoos.
Yeah.
That's where I got my name from, mostly. But I also do different stuff. I paint, I do dioramas, as I showed you earlier.
Yeah, we will talk about
I'm
that.
a bit all-around artist.
Yeah.
I will define myself all-around artist, I think.
Okay.
But mostly I do tattoos. So.
And what, can you repeat your artist name? Your
SMALLS.
SMALLS?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
SMALLS. From Biggie Smalls.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, is kind of what inspired a bit the name.
Yeah. Is there any other inspiration for the name or?
The slang meaning of the word SMALLS. It basically means somebody that even if he's having a bad day, is still gonna put it aside to cheer you up. So that's
Nice.
the definition of actual SMALLS in slang.
Okay.
I like that, but yeah, it's mostly from Biggie. It's like the movie that kept me company while I was in London. I would watch it on my phone on YouTube. And
Okay.
I learned my English from the movie because it was only in English, no subtitles, not everything. It was a bit of a messy situation when I was in London. So yeah, I got everything from there.
Okay. And how long have you been called SMALLS?
It's 5 years, almost 6. Yeah.
Okay.
I think 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 years.
So you were in London back then?
I was in
right.
London when I was 22. I'm 31
Okay.
right now. I was there. Yeah, I moved there when I was 22. But I started tattooing when I was 25.
Okay.
So basically 6 years ago. Yeah, it's 6 years next year that I'm tattooing.
Wow.
Yeah, that I start all my journey. Yeah.
And you're Italian, right?
Yes, I am.
Where you come from in Italy?
I am indeed. I am from Milan.
Okay.
Yeah, but all my family is from the south of Italy.
Okay.
So I'm a bit of both. I'm not extremely like north.
Okay, I got you. And by the time, if you were not tattooing, how come you moved to London? What were you doing at the time?
I moved to London like kind of the American dream.
Yeah.
But for me, Italian, London was the American dream. Like,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
right.
I mean? Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
still far from Italy, you know.
Different culture.
Yeah, we Italian,
yeah.
we're not comfortable living our country, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard when you tell somebody like, oh man, you should go and live outside. Oh no, I'm too comfortable here. It's pretty hard to do. So London is still like going to America for an Italian person, you know what I mean? And I still wanted to tattoo. I always wanted to tattoo since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
Because I got my first tattoo on my neck. Yeah. And
When you were 16?
yeah, because I got in the tattoo shop and I fell in love with it like at the first sight.
Wow.
Yeah, the smell of the green soap, the drawing on the walls, the noises of the machines, old school machines, so nobody said a word. It was amazing. I just fell in love with it, and since then I wanted to be a tattoo artist, but it took me like a long time to get there. I've been doing a lot of works before, and when I moved to London, of course, it was hard at the beginning because I had to learn the languages like properly. I had to learn how to speak properly.
And British English is something.
Yeah, it's something else. It's a bit more complicated than American, and it's a different accent, and there's different accent completely. In south of England, it's like 2,000 accent in one station from another. They're already speaking differently.
I understand.
I used to notice that when they say brother, 20 ways to say
Broth.
the word bro. Yeah, there's bra, brother, bra, bro. Yeah, there's so many, and it's Also influential in the
Yeah.
way they speak.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know, I hear some people asking me for water and just saying, "You get me some water."
Oh.
And it's like, what you
About
want,
what?
man? About what? And you're like, what are you talking about, man? So it was hard because I
Yeah.
had to understand those people. And I did everything. I've been a waiter, I've been a barman, I've been a chef for a long time.
Wow.
Of course, for us Italian, it's pretty easy to become a chef if we know how to make
Were you a
a
chef in an
decent
Italian
pasta.
restaurant?
I was working for Jamie Oliver for a little while, and then for a Japanese restaurant in Carnaby Street. That was nice.
Okay.
But I moved to Brighton after that.
Okay.
And I lived there most of my time. I lived on a boat, in the port. And that's where I started tattooing. Yeah. 1 year I've been a chef in a diner. TGI Fridays, always American stuff. I don't know why, I always had this connection. But yeah, that's where I started everything. I just was sick of working as a chef like 60 hours a week and crazy stuff, crazy shift. I did a lot, so now I enjoy even more my job. Like
the freedom.
I lived it like really bad. Like London, it's pretty heavy. I think Paris is similar on that way. Maybe it's a bit more chilled.
Yeah, I don't know. I always told myself I would never work in restoration. Like I could not handle that kind of stress and hours and rhythm and clientele and everything. So I couldn't tell. But I think it's pretty heavy in Paris too.
Yeah, definitely. Because I see how Paris and London look alike.
Yes. Yeah.
Both for weather and work way of thinking. I think it's more or less the same, even though London, they're really hustlers. Like they really have the mentality of make that money and just work, which I love and which I got from them. But it's pretty hard. And now I really enjoy doing what I do. And
That's cool.
It's nice to meet people like Jean who brought me here. That was all casual. Like you start saying it's pretty fun. Yeah, it's pretty funny because I didn't know until the day before I was coming to Paris.
That's crazy.
That I had to be here and talking.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. Not a problem. I like to talk. You know,
same.
It's not bad. I like to teach. I've been doing masterclass, and that's something that's gonna happen here in Paris soon.
Yes, we will talk about it.
Yeah, a little spoiler.
When you say, I'm always curious, when you say, then you started tattooing, I'm always curious how people start tattooing and when they start counting. Just like when you're in a relationship, you start counting
when
from
you
the first
actually
kiss or from
start
the
tattooing,
first date. I don't know. And I always wonder where you count for tattooing.
Okay. That's pretty easy, to be honest. But your first tattoo, unless you do it in a tattoo studio with somebody that told you what to do and somebody that showed you, even if they didn't tell you, like they at least show you what to do, then you can count it.
Okay.
But if you start tattooing at home with a Chinese machine, not knowing what the fuck you're doing, that's another thing. You're not tattooing. You're just scratching. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no fucking idea. And when I started, I was 16. YouTube wasn't what it is now. Or internet wasn't the same.
Even tattooing wasn't the same, right?
Yeah, and people didn't really give away tips about tattooing. Now everybody is selling out and just giving everything to everybody for money because that's how we live in now. It's that or nothing right now. But before it was hard to find a video on YouTube that will tell you or show you what to do. It was harder. Somebody to tell you what to do, it was impossible. Like when I was 16, tattoo studio were scary. But until I was even 20, they were still scary places. You will see like a badass big guy outside looking bad with a cigarette, eating it, like eating a cigarette, not smoking but super ugly and like bad, like motorcycle dude, which I love that. I was scared to go inside a tattoo studio. Yeah, now you have people that goes in a tattoo studio, they're the customer, and they even say what to do to the artist, and you're like, that's a bit wrong.
That's a shift.
Yeah, that's a big shift. So it was really hard. And it took me ages. It took me a long time because I was 16 and I started at 25.
Yeah.
So it took me almost 10 years to actually realize what I wanted to realize. But I'm actually glad I learned a lot. I did everything before that. And I actually understood that's what I wanted to do because I left my country, one-way ticket, and I just flew to London with this dream. And that's what helped me out like all the time. Like that everything that keeps me.
That's a good outlook.
Still alive
on everything you did in the meantime. That help you eventually.
Yeah, definitely. You will get through a rough time, and If you pass that, then when you are tattooing or doing something completely fully yours, it's different. When
Yeah.
you pass something worse and you're
You
like,
struggled
now
and-
I'm chill. It's not as before that
Now
I was
you're
struggling.
thankful. Like,
Yeah, now I'm still thankful. I'm still
Yeah.
like, I can manage my time, which is good. Like the older you get, the more you understand the time, is the valuable thing you have, and
Yeah.
you try to value that. That's why now after 5 years, I start asking different prices. I spend a lot of time, and I don't want to, how do I say? I don't want to say I was the first to do it, but when I started doing lettering, there wasn't as much people as
Yeah.
now. I started, as I said, in Brighton, so in England, not even in Italy. And we were like 3 lettering artists at the
Wow.
time in that city. And I was the 3rd one and the new one. And it was hard to push it at the beginning because I do freehand. So like I draw on skin straight away and then I tattoo. And you gotta get the trust of the customers. And
Yes.
I received a lot of love in that city. People helped me out, but that doesn't mean that it was easy because it was something new.
It was something
There
new,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
big name, of course, of lettering, and everything in London, of course, was even bigger because, of course, it's London.
Capital city.
But still, it was
Yeah.
a still new thing. I was part of the new generation and a lot of guys, of course. And when I started, I was pretty back. Like, how do I say pretty back? I was nothing compared to others. I will
started from
see
the bottom.
people, yeah, I will see people and be like, oh my God, they're already doing that and I'm still learning how to do this. And this just speed me up. So in 5 years, I basically did what people does in 10.
Wow.
Yeah. I closed myself on a boat. As I said, I lived on a boat, on an actually wooden boat in the ocean. I just
Wow.
closed myself there for 2 years, no party, no bullshit, and just focusing on lettering. And that's what brought me
crazy.
actually here. After all, if you think about it, I did that without thinking that now I would be in Paris talking to you or being in contact with Jean, which is a great artist that I admire a lot. And it's super nice, and I still feeling blessed all the time I think about it. When I think about being how it was and
Back then, yeah.
now every time I'm like, okay, no, I'm actually blessed that
That's
this
cool.
happened. It's super
That's
nice.
so good to hear. That's a dumb question, but like, why lettering? What is your bond, your relationship with letters and words and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty silly the way it started because when I was in London, I was still looking for a tattoo shop, and I've been an apprentice in a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
And
The old school way?
yeah, but the guy trusted me. I don't
Okay.
know. The guy just trusted me and he was like,
Good.
I don't know.
That's good.
I think you have it in you.
Mhm.
They didn't help me a lot, but the way the owner of the shop helped me was like, start doing lettering. He just came to me one day and he was like, you should start doing lettering. In a few years, you will see.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, man, it's a challenge for me because I have a very bad calligraphy.
Okay.
If
Wow.
I write, my
Your handwriting
my
is-
handwriting is horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, unless I really have to focus on it, and then I'm fucking great.
But did this guy, he was doing lettering too, or
No,
nothing to
he
do with?
was a black
Okay.
and gray artist, but like he's been tattooing for 10 years.
Okay.
At the time,
Mhm.
and he did everything. He was working like the old school way, so tattoos a day. You had that time, that stance, that thing. It was crazy. The guy
Wow.
was a really nice dude. He even decided to quit tattooing. Like he already
Okay.
knew that tattooing was gonna be shit, and he quit tattooing and become an actor. Yeah, completely crazy
Okay.
dude. Like super crazy. But he was, I don't know, able to see that something was gonna happen, and it was just like, man, you should start doing it. And as I said, my handwriting is very awful, and I like challenges, and I took it as a challenge, and that's why then I got so focused on it. I was like, okay, I have to start learning again how to write like at school.
And did your handwriting improved or not even?
No, because my handwriting, while I write a note, is a different thing. If
Yeah.
I have to do lettering, I see it as a drawing in my head.
Okay.
For me, it's like drawing a face or something.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
drawing letters. Like now I see it like that. I just like it. And that guy gave me one tip and he helped me out. And
Yeah, I
just
gave you
put
like
it in my
a-
head, and I was like, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta challenge myself, and that's how I keep going on. Is just
That's
keep
crazy.
challenging myself and doing crazy things.
That's so cool. My key question is one of the hardest.
All right. Yeah, just go
Can
for
you
it.
describe your style
Okay.
in 3 words?
My style in 3 words. I definitely ornamental.
Okay.
Because with one word I can just feel a full arm and it becomes an ornament. Elegant.
Ooh,
Definitely.
I like that. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, my cursive, which is what I love doing the most, I think is elegant. Yeah.
Good.
And a third word, I don't know. I had to think properly about it
You
and
can.
choose a proper word.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, that I gotta choose wisely my word. Yeah, because it's, I think, personal. I do a pretty dirty freehand. Like, I'm not pretty clean with my stance to make it easier for people to understand
Yeah.
what a freehand is. It's a stencil, which as I said, I do with a marker. I just draw on skin and go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think personal is the word, because I don't make it so clean, the freehand, so that I don't have anything to stop me. And while I'm tattooing people, I like to talk to them and perceive them and try to see how I react to them and how they react to me, and that's what's gonna bring me out a different kind of lettering.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll do more details if I see that a person is a close person and doesn't speak a lot. So I see he's a close person, and then I tend to close
To
the whole
pack.
lettering
Yeah.
and put details and crazy. Or maybe I see the person is pretty simple, chill, and then I make a pretty simple and chill lettering.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think personal, elegant, and
An ornamental.
ornamental
That's
are the
good.
words I will choose. Yeah,
Okay.
to describe my style.
Fine.
Yeah.
And if you do mostly freehand while tattooing, how does the process work? If I would want a tattoo, I would contact you and I would say I want this word, for instance.
Yeah.
And then we would meet and you would see the placement and
Yeah,
just
if you know already the placement, that would definitely help me adjust in my head. I tend not to draw before.
Yeah.
That's why I choose to do freehand too.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I remember drawing something for 20 times and then coming at the appointment and the person would change idea
Yeah.
completely. And at the time, I didn't have an iPad or I wasn't even skilled to use iPad, so I had to draw my stencil.
yes.
Which means that to do the first clean one, I had to draw like 20 times or at least 3-4 times. I had to do it before.
Yeah.
So it would take me a long time. And one guy came to me and he was like, oh man, you should do stencil for your lettering. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do freehand everything. And I start freehanding everything, like literally everything. I will do infinite sign, heart sign, little flowers, whatever it comes to mind. I will just start freehanding it at the moment. But yeah, if you want a tattoo from me, you just have to have a word, maybe an idea of placement, and that would be good for me. I will just come to the appointment, I will draw it on you, and that's it.
And does it ever happen that someone doesn't have a word and you just meet
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
We
have
talk,
a chat?
yeah, we have a
and
chat
you
and
decide together.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
Definitely, I have this too.
I
It's
like
like
that.
somebody maybe want to get a tattoo from me, but they're not like ready. And they're like, oh, I still don't know what I want. And then, yeah, I will be like, let's go have a smoke. Let's go have a coffee. And like few words, I get the first words in my head. And I think those usually are the first thought that I had about the person. And I'm like, okay, maybe that describe you. I'm pretty good at getting people.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because you said you would feel the person to decide what's the style even. So I thought maybe
I'm,
you
I'm
could.
pretty good. I'm actually pretty good at getting people at the first meeting. It's hard that I don't get you. It's really hard. Like, you gotta be good, like better than me. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, like completely like wall of brick. Then I wouldn't get you.
Yeah.
If you are too close, also I try not to be too invasive, which sometimes doesn't help, but I usually good at getting people, and that helped me even choosing words for others or sentences or what you like. And somebody tells me something and I'm like, okay, boom, do you like these? And they're like, oh yeah, I like it, and something like that. Yeah,
Good.
I
That's
think
impressive.
it's better. Yeah, it's I
That's
think
a life skill, very useful life skill.
yeah, apparently, yeah, it became useful at the end. Like somehow I make it work.
Yeah.
Even something that I don't know how I will use this, but yeah, in tattooing sometimes happen. Yeah,
That's good. And one last question about tattoos.
all good.
What machine do you use?
All right, yeah.
Lately, because sometimes people
Lately,
change.
yeah, lately. Yeah, lately. I'm actually loyal to the coil. I had to admit that. I'm using a pen now. Right now, I'm using a pen. Yeah, the past 2 years, I think now. Yeah, but it was more for a comfortable thing. I start traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like for 1 year and a half, I started traveling straight after I came back from UK.
Mm-hmm.
But I had 1 year and a half when I was really just traveling. Didn't
Yeah.
have a place, and I
Yeah.
was just living in Airbnb hotels or hosted by people and bringing around my coils. It doesn't mean you have to bring one. I used
No.
to use one machine for everything still.
Wow.
But yeah, but for shading and lining, I
Okay.
just want to use one coil and I will do everything. Yeah. I just
Kudos.
yeah. I was like just I think I'm skilled enough to do that, and I learned that, of course, taking risks. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff. You have to bring at least another one because you never know.
Yeah,
And
backup.
so it becomes like 2-3 machine already that you bring it with you. Maybe one for boulder lines and this and that, and the needles and the grips, and it becomes a lot of spaces in the
Yes.
suitcases and a lot of mess for the needles when you fly, because you cannot fly with the needles. You can
Yes.
fly with cartridges but not with needles because there's a long tape. It's crazy stuff. So it was getting even more expensive, and then I was like, okay, I had to make a choice. My machine broke, my
Okay.
favorite one.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, what I gotta do? And I was like, okay, I want to try the
This
pen.
is a sign.
Yeah, and the choice was another machine that was like a Dan Cubing, which is a very good rotary machine, but it's more powerful than a coil. Still don't know how is that possible, but it's super good machine. But I would have been staying with the same trouble
Yeah,
of
yeah.
bringing with me a lot of stuff. So I decided to move on to the Bishop one, then using a pen. Of course, I wanted to use a good one, so
Yes.
I tried it before, a Chinese one, just to know how to handle it and how it work. Comfortable because of the cartridges, timing for setup and everything. So I could make more tattoos during a day because I didn't spend 30 minutes to make my
make your machine.
station
Yeah.
and like get ready for it and traveling. So it's everything just
Yeah,
one little
little-
pack. It goes in my backpack, needles, ink, everything in my backpack. I can travel just with my backpack.
You can
and I
tattoo
can work
anywhere.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was more of a comfortable choice for traveling rather
Yeah,
than.
yeah.
But definitely, if I stay in a studio for longer, I use coil too. Yeah,
Okay.
that's for sure.
But you adjusted well.
Yeah, I
You would
had
say.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though like my time doubled, so I take double the time that I used to take
Okay.
to
To
do
tattoo?
a tattoo. Yeah,
Because of the pen?
yeah. Because with the coil, I just had
Yeah, you had.
I just
your
had
flow
it.
and-
It's just point and fucking do the line, and it's once. That's it. End of the story. I don't have to go over it 20 times. And it has a different approach on the skin, the
Yeah.
coil machine. You can use actually the skin to work. You don't
Okay.
only use the needle in the machine, you can use also the skin because it has a different way of working on it.
Okay.
The pen is like straight, it doesn't stop, it never stops, you know. The coil machine has
Oh, that's
a
right. The
little
pedal.
pose.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it
not
has
even?
a little pose. Even when it goes, you still had to go up and down.
Yeah.
You know, so the trauma on the skin, it's still a little bit
Okay.
deflected.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah,
pen,
yeah.
it's just like a mystery. It's like continuous. It never stops because
Okay.
it works. There's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
engine that push it.
Yeah.
So you can use better the skin with a coil rather than with a pen. And that for that reason, I think now it's taking me like double the time to do one appointment. But it's
Okay.
good. I ask more money if I have to be really honest.
Yeah.
But before I was like asking maybe the same, but I was taking less,
Don't-
and I was like, you paying for the time that
Of course.
even though it took me 1 hour, thank me that to do that piece, it took me 1 hour instead of 3. But now it took me 3. It take me 3 hours to do it, so I gotta charge anyways
I mean,
for the 3 hours.
it's honest of you. Some people are shy talking about that, about like
Yeah, well,
money
that's how
or
it
the
works.
price.
People need to understand
Of
how it
course.
works, why you ask certain money and not. There's some people that works fast and they ask a lot of money because they work fast, and some people
Yeah.
they're slow and they ask a lot of money because they're slow. But because it takes them more.
Yeah, of course.
It takes experience to do a tattoo in no time. But as well as I said, like a pen is different from a coil, and I
Yes.
have to still learn a little how to use it at the best.
That's
With experience and practicing and stuff. Even though I still prefer coil. I complain every time
Yeah.
I tattoo with a pen.
Yeah, I got you.
Like I gotta say something every time. I'm just like, I hate this shit.
I like your phrase "loyal to the coil."
Yeah.
It kind of, I really like
Yeah,
that.
that's an actual thing. Yeah, it's
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Tattooing is an actual thing.
I
Yeah,
didn't
loyal
know.
to the
I mean,
cause.
and because I usually
probably have
have
it
French
differently.
speakers interviews, so that's why. But
Yeah,
I
but
like,
it's American. It's
I like the
American
phrase.
English thing. Yeah, it's loyal to the coil.
and
yeah.
I know this culture. I know.
Yeah.
I know people loyal to the coil.
Yeah, I tried to be, and I was upset when I had to buy my pen. Like, I
Yeah.
was really upset. I was like, damn. But it's comfy, and it's
You have to
quicker, and it's another way of working right now
Yeah.
that I have, because I'm a traveler artist.
Mhm.
I tend to travel more.
Even out of curiosity,
Yeah,
you should
definitely.
try.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you get
definitely.
back to the coil afterwards,
Definitely, absolutely. You have no
at
cable.
least you tried.
It still has pros. It still has a lot of pros. You charge it. That's a pro or not, but it's light.
Yes.
I don't have a sore hand when I go home. I can handle 8 hours of session without having problems later with my
That's
fucking hand, and I don't burn my hand, because with the coil I used to burn myself. Because,
Really?
Yeah,
It
coil
gets hot?
machine gets hot.
Oh my god.
Coil machine gets hot as fuck. So like you burn yourself. Like I swear I had a scar here for ages when I was
Wow.
tattooing. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pros. No cables on the way.
Okay.
And I tattoo a lot of faces. I love tattooing faces. And the cable was a problem. Like the clip card. I say cable, but it's a clip card.
Yeah.
It was a problem. Was an actual problem
Gets in
in
your
travel,
face.
because you always have it on the way. So yeah, there's a lot of cons and pros, of course. Like with everything. Yeah.
I'll jump on that. Why do you love tattooing faces?
I don't
What
know.
do you like about that?
It-
It's so interesting.
Because for some people it's hard, because they like, oh man, I'm
They're
tattooing a face.
Intimidated?
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
happy as fuck. Somebody's, I tattoo your face. Come here. I don't give a shit. Yeah, come here.
You have a lot of face tats yourself.
Yeah, that comes from my laziness and don't want to feel pain. Yeah, because face
lace
tattoos are. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought the contrary.
No, for sure. I thought the same. When I got my first one, like my eyebrows,
Mhm.
I was like, it's gonna hurt like hell. No, nothing at all. And it's still like that. And that's why I have a lot of tattoo on my face.
Mhm.
Because if I wanted to get something from somebody and I didn't want it to suffer,
Yeah.
I would be just like, tattoo my face, man. I don't feel shit. And I would just sit down, stay there and chill, and then be like, oh, fine, it's good. That's
Even
it.
the eyelids?
Yeah, the guy who did it was pretty decent. He didn't hurt.
Wow. Okay, good to
Yeah.
know.
He wasn't too heavy, so yeah.
Okay. Because face tats are on my bucket list before later in life.
Yeah.
So I would. Okay, good to know it.
Yeah, you can consider me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also like I know how to tattoo faces like properly, like
Yeah.
don't blow up stuff. People think you need to go heavy because it's on the face, which is correct. The face is always exposed to sun and
Yes,
everything,
that's
so
right.
the tattoo will always get lighter than others. And also girls like put makeup and
Yeah.
stuff, they ruin it, like they something yeah, because the skin doesn't breathe.
Yeah.
And the tattoo has to breathe anyway, even when it's healed. And
Yes.
if you put like stuff and powder on it, it doesn't really help.
Mhm.
But I found a way so the tattoo stays, I don't blow up shit. And maybe you can come for a little touch up if you want to, and if you're somebody that is
Yeah.
so precise that you want it really clean.
Especially up there.
Yeah, especially on faces.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll consider it. I heard you. I love letters. I love
you,
words.
you got me.
Okay. At the very beginning, you introduce yourself as a lettering artist, and you explore other mediums than skin. What other stuff do you do?
What other stuff do I do? Whatever I can put my hand on. Like, whatever. Thanks to Jean, definitely I found out engraving.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough, though. And it's something, of course, I need some time to
What do you engrave? Because there are so many ways.
That's the thing. That's why I cannot engrave, because I never find the right thing.
Okay.
And I don't want to do what other people do. I want to try for some. Of course, I tried little
Lino
thing.
and...
Yeah, like some wooden stuff, metal thing. Yeah, I tried it, but I have this problem on finding the object.
Oh.
So that's why I do it, but not so often. That's why I do something more, which is making dioramas.
Yes, that I
yeah.
saw upstairs.
Or
I saw
miniature,
one.
how you want to
Yeah.
call it. That, however you want to choose the word.
How
But
did-
dioramas is
Yeah, I
the
like that word.
actual word.
Yeah.
for
How
it.
did you start that? Like how...
That's pretty crazy. I think I saw an American guy. Yeah, I think his name is Danny Cortez.
Okay.
Yeah. And he does these New York City buildings with graffiti on dioramas, like a little piece of it, or like the light pole of the
Yeah.
street. And I saw him one day, and I was like, "Oh man, that's nice." And I just start collecting recycled stuff, because everything I do is with recycled paper and whatever I find, like trash.
Yeah.
So basically, I start filling my house with trash. Yeah.
That's the first step for dioramas.
Yeah, which sounds crazy, because I was like, just instead of throwing everything away,
Yeah.
I was just like keeping it in this box, and I had a fucking wardrobe full of trash. Yeah, it was pretty fun for my girlfriend too, I think. But yeah, then I start watching YouTube. We have YouTube, we have this, so why
Yeah.
don't you use it? And I started seeing guys making some miniatures and dioramas, and I was like, okay, that's amazing. And thanks to an English guy that is crazy. I love his content. He's super funny, and he makes really cool stuff. And literally, I saw his page. I was like, okay, I gotta do it. And I had enough paper and cardboards and shit. And I was like, okay, let's get to it. And the first one I did was like a building, like
Yeah.
a pretty, not too small, because of course I had to understand like sizes and
Yes.
stuff. The first thing I did, and it came out super dope, and I stayed up until 4 a.m. because I started, and I was just, I want to finish it.
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
see how it is when it's done and colored and everything, because that's when it gets to life. And I finished. I was like, that's fucking good. I'm good. I didn't know. I'm actually good at it. And from there, I just started looking around myself and understand how to make something big and see small, and like how to use something that will look like that. And it got crazy in my head, and I just started doing a lot of it. And I'm actually getting better every time that I do it.
I really love the idea of taking a piece of street and bringing it home and make it a piece of art. And even, I don't know, I like cities, I like urban decors and stuff, and I like the idea of turning something very trivial and trash, because you use trash, and turn it into a piece of art.
Yeah.
I think it's very poetic in a way. I don't know.
I think it's nice, and also we make a lot of fucking trash and like plastic and
Yeah.
papers and stuff, and now I just see dioramas and just like, that's a diorama. Oh, that's paper is perfect to do bricks, or this, that. And I don't throw anything, and I have the house full of trash. But yeah, I'm recycling.
That's good.
It feels good, even though I'm not doing anything. I'm just having fun. But miniature and dioramas are more for me. It's the last thing that I have for myself,
Yeah.
Because tattooing right now is for everybody
That's
more
right.
than just for yourself. And I make dioramas like for fun. I literally for myself. I make them. If people like them or not, I don't care, because I do. And I see how I make them and how easy it comes to me to do them. It's just funny. I'm just like, okay, I'm good at it, so I just do it. And people actually likes it, and yeah, it's something I'm gonna get deeper into it. I think. Yeah, I might make
I'll
something.
follow that. I like
Yeah,
that.
you might see something coming soon.
And I like, teasing.
Yeah.
I like watching the process of it. I usually
Exactly.
watch wool ones, the one made
Okay,
with
with the
fabric.
wool.
With
Okay,
wool.
with the fabric,
Yeah,
yeah.
like tiny kitchens and food and stuff.
Okay,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
watching
yeah.
that for hours. I could do that for hours. But I would
Yeah.
definitely watch turning trash into treasure for hours too.
Yeah, you will probably see it soon. Yeah.
Okay, very well. And now to the big stuff, to why we're meeting.
Oh,
Actually, to your big project that's coming up. I will let you talk about it, actually. What's coming up?
just like that. Just like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll let you introduce it, and then I'll jump on points.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's actually the reason because we are here.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Like we just decided on the spot when I first met Jean
How did you meet?
through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Like we start talking and start following each other, and it does great shit. And I was like, bro, I love it. It's amazing. I love what you do. And it was like, I love what you do too. And I was like, okay. And that's how everything goes. I was like, I want to come to Paris and see you and do something together. We even ended up doing a collabo together, tattooing collabo. Yeah.
Is it the first time? No, it's not the first time you met in person, right?
That's the second time.
Second time? Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but yeah, like those rare occasion where you met somebody, you understand you're on the same wave.
Yeah.
It's rare, but when it happens, and I trust him, and we came up with this idea in no time. I came to Paris and I was like, let's do a masterclass, and he was like, let's do it, and we're gonna do an actual masterclass. Mostly, I would call it workshop rather than a masterclass, because we're gonna show more than just teaching something.
Yes.
There's more to it than you guys will see.
And the idea behind like the workshop masterclass is, I don't know how to put it in English though, but transmit like a culture, a love for letters, a technique.
Definitely.
It's the whole thing.
Definitely, yeah.
And not why, but like, why do you want to share it? What's the...
I don't know. We just clicked with the idea when we talked, and he has skills that I don't have, and vice versa. But we are very similar as well. We had a lot of stuff in common, and we were just like, man, we can teach this to people and do something great, something nice, something that we can all be proud of. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And now we are on it.
And I believe you have at heart to do something very good and effective.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you show me the place where we are in now, I was like, that's amazing, man. Like we can get like something good out of it. It looks dope. And with our ideas and stuff, I'm a bit crazy, so I had lots of ideas and stuff. Probably when I come here to do the workshop and help fixing stuff, you guys will hate me. I'll tell you this. I swear you will hate me, but it's gonna be dope. Because I'm crazy and I have 2,000 ideas all the time, like at the same time.
Maybe it's good that you take more time to develop the project so you can...
exactly. I can pin down stuff. He's gonna help me with that too.
Yeah.
But we both hype each other, so that's dangerous. But yeah, the place is amazing. We're gonna do something really nice for everybody. That's the point.
I was gonna ask who exactly, or not exactly, are you targeting?
It's targeted to everyone who wants to learn something about our craft. That's it. That it can come from anybody. I don't care. It can be the lady who wanna see how to engrave, the old man who maybe knows how to do it but still want to see how young generation do it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be just for tattooers or lettering artists, which is why he's in with me.
Yes.
Because he put another side of his word that I don't have, something more different. Because I'm a tattoo artist. That's what I think people know me from. And of course I will get involved tattooers if I do a workshop. But he has another side, and I think it's for everyone. I want to do something for everybody and share something that we have. Of course, not everything. But it's good to share. I've been doing masterclass lately, and I find out also that I love teaching, and I'm actually decent at it. Yeah, definitely. It's not for everyone. And my first masterclass was like 1 year ago, I think. Yeah, more than 1 year ago. And I had 30 kids. I had 30...
Like actual kids? Like
No, for me, kids, but they're like 20.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I say
not
kids.
actual kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I got you.
I think everybody is a kid because I feel old. But yeah, I had 30 guys, like 30 kids. Yeah, I say kids. Yeah, because they're
Go
young.
for it. Yeah,
you know?
sure.
It was hard for the first 2 minutes, and then I was just like, yeah, fuck it, they're kids. I have to teach them what I know. And I was like, just start talking, and I got comfortable with it. I had even an older lady and an older man that just wanted to learn calligraphy and how to write. That was amazing for me. Yeah, I had guys coming from Naples, from other cities, just to come to my masterclass. That was amazing. And I found out I'm actually decent at it. Kids was like, you're really good at teaching, and I was like, I didn't know. Thank you. That's amazing to know. And this year I did it again, and same stuff. Like everybody was like, "Thank you, man. Like you explain everything." Because I put my time on the person. I had to
Yes.
teach like 30. This year it was even more person. I had 60.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
At the same time?
30 and 30.
Wow.
Or 40 and 20. Something like that. Yeah, 40 in a class and 20 in another class. Yeah. It was mental because there were more. But I still go to each, every one of the kids, and I'm just like, what you don't understand, just tell me. I explain 20,000 times, and
Yeah.
I like it. And it's one of the rare cases where I am actually patient with people. Yeah. I don't know
That's
how.
good.
I swear I don't know how, but I'm patient because I'm teaching something that I know it's hard. People think what we do is easy because, oh yeah, you're doing a writing, you're doing a word.
Come
Bro,
on.
look at my handwriting
Come
and ask me
on.
how I can do the lettering I do. Try, come on, bro, explain me how.
Yeah.
Because I studied, man. I studied. Like lettering is an art, and as I told you before, like for me it's a drawing.
Yes.
I'm not fucking writing a word. I'm doing an entire drawing. You know what I mean? And it's hard, and you gotta study for it. So that gave me patience when I'm trying to teach somebody about it. You know?
I really admire that because I'm a very academic person and I know very precise stuff, but I'm totally unable to explain it, and I could not do that.
I thought the same because I don't know. I don't think everybody understands me. I actually think the opposite is like pretty hard for people to understand me.
And sometimes when you're passionate about something, it's even
Yeah,
harder
yeah,
to put it
exactly.
into words and walk someone through
Exactly.
that.
But then you put yourself, like I said before, you gotta take risks, and then you
Yes.
find out you're good at something that you didn't have any idea, and I didn't know about it. Which is also why I think doing a workshop is gonna be good. But this is gonna be different from the classic stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We don't want to do the classic workshop. You come here, some tables, you draw, you do, you talk. There's gonna be our art in it. There's gonna be some pieces, and we want to do things like the proper way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we also have something big coming out for the whole thing as well. Right before, but we have something coming out.
Are you willing to talk about it, or is it a secret?
We can just say that we're working on a book.
Oh
It's gonna be an Italian and French book about lettering and about us.
Yeah. And
But
is it like a compliment to the workshop? Is it like...
he came with it. It was actually Jean's idea.
Yeah.
To do the book. I do books. Like I'm crazy about it. I love doing books. I don't know why. I'm crazy. I just started doing that. So when he said, "Bro, let's do a book together," I was like, "That's it. Yeah, let's do it." Because doing with another person, it means it's true person putting everything in one thing, and what came out. Also, we connect and understand pretty well, and like even this day yesterday that we started deciding some stuff and everything, we saw it, like we just knew how we liked it and how it was gonna be. And yeah, it's gonna be a nice mix generation and people from different cultures that though lived all their cultures. So like we have influences that don't, like, not all Italian and French people have, of course.
Yeah.
We lived in other countries, we lived other stuff, and we have a big mix. We both, he comes from graffiti, I come from new generation as well of graffiti, and I do tattoo, he does tattoo. We have a lot of things in common, but
grounds.
it's everything different. The way we live in it is completely different.
Yeah.
And it's gonna bring a good mix to the book. And yeah, there's gonna be a duality in the book, that's for sure. And still is a book for everybody though. It's not only for people who does already lettering and just want to collect. You're still gonna have everything inside that you can get inspired to, you know?
I like the idea of a book, like it's both like it's an art object, like it can be a very beautiful object, but it's also like an art collaboration between you guys, and it's also historical or academic. It's very intellectual and artistic at the same time, and I really like the whole combo of that.
Still duality
and
is
duality,
the theme of everything,
but with common grounds and common passions and stuff.
that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
It's literally like the duality of the book.
And
like,
then you
with
have to develop the whole
things together.
writing, but also the whole artwork, the archives and stuff.
It's definitely a different kind of book. Like the only written words are probably gonna be like the preface.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an art book at the end of the day, because of course it's mostly about that, and people has to see what's. I don't want to judge the book by a cover. Like that's what it
Still,
said.
you have to have a good cover.
It's gonna have a freaking dope cover. Don't worry about it. We already had like pretty crazy ideas, and
Yeah, I guess so.
some cool stuff will come out of it, and we're gonna do thing like in a big way.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying that book.
Yeah, we already had one. Yeah, you don't. Nobody knows what is coming, guys. Like I swear, nobody knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a pretty hype guy, but
Yeah,
I swear nobody
got that.
knows. No, but not even us. I'm the first one who doesn't know what's gonna come out of it, but I think it's gonna be even bigger than we think. I
Yeah.
hope so, of course. But
I hope so. For you
I
guys.
have good conviction. Yeah, it will be a good thing and a great thing and something different. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do.
Will you sign my copy?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
That's for sure. I will sign every copy.
And are we announcing time period for the masterclass or the book or whatever? Or
For the masterclass, we probably have definitely next year. Yeah, that's for sure. We still don't have the actual date, but we think around February it will happen.
stay tuned.
yeah.
Early 2025.
Yeah, during Valentine's Day, maybe something like that. Yeah.
So then the people could write beautiful letters for their loved ones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, they will find crazy stuff in the book. You never know. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, maybe that, and still need to figure out for book and everything.
course.
But I'm here right now
That's
to
a lot of work, but it's
on
very
it. Yeah.
motivating and
Yeah,
stimulating.
definitely gonna give us a new perspective on some things and a new flow.
Okay, the trickiest question. I call it tricky because I couldn't answer it myself. So it's a bit unfair that I ask it, but I'm really curious about it. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
That's a good question.
It could be both like professionally, personally, geographically. I don't care. Do you
Yeah,
project?
anything
Do you
where I
project
would
anything?
project myself.
Yes.
Well, it's tricky, but not because it's hard to answer to it. It's tricky because it changes from time to time.
Yes.
Sometimes I might be like, I don't know if I'll be alive tomorrow. Sometimes I had that kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I just leave it like, fuck it, and because you never know. Tomorrow ain't promised to no one. So sometimes I had that kind of way of thinking. But I also have a way of thinking on a large scale because that's my brain, how it works. And in 10 years, definitely would love to live where I work. So like having a kind of lab with a house place and making collabo with everybody. And
Because like currently, where are you living?
we were living in Turin. I was living in Turin. I gotta move back to Milan and then probably move into Spain.
Okay.
After England, Spain was like I had to go there because I lived 5 years with the worst weather ever and the worst
You needed
food
to go
ever.
south.
Yeah, like
Oh my God, the food, how?
I lived on a boat and in an ocean, but the sun, I saw it maybe 1 month out of 12. Like, is still like shitty. I couldn't eat, and I'm Italian. I came back to Italy because I couldn't eat, and I couldn't.
No,
I had
course
to
not.
eat food. I had to eat some tomatoes that taste like tomatoes, and pasta that actually tastes like pasta, and fruit and vegetables that actually have a taste
Yes.
and a flavor. And I was like, so after England, I was like, I'm gonna definitely move to Spain. So now I'm gonna be traveling around again for a couple of months. I'll stay in Milan like as a base, but I like to travel. But yeah, we're probably gonna end up in Spain, I think. I like how's the country.
Yeah.
I just like the people is always pretty much happy, and the sun and the sea and the food is good. It's not as good
Yes.
as the Italian, but it is still pretty good. Yeah, I still think I hate a lot of things about Italian. The thing that I love and is food.
Yeah, you
I
cannot
really
take
don't
away.
care. You cannot take that
No.
away. It's the only thing that like we're not dumb about it. It's the only thing. We're really good at it. But yeah, I think Spain is a good thing. And yeah, but yeah, I still think maybe I'll stay there. That's never sure because I don't know.
Okay.
So like
We will
about
see.
where I'm gonna live in 10 years, no clue. Probably on a big yacht and like in the sea and just traveling around. And yeah, definitely our world is going to different ways,
Yes.
and now you gotta make real money to
That's another reason why
survive.
this question is tricky. Because
you never know how it's
you-
going
it's
things.
so fucked
Yeah,
up
you know,
and unpredictable.
Everything right now is even more unpredictable than before.
Yes.
And especially on the
Yes.
artsy side. It's like we have no like artsy stuff like that. Tattooing, I have no clue on how it's gonna be in 10 years. Like I don't have any clue.
No.
So like I can answer you maybe 5 years time. Yeah, I will still be tattooing, and I will definitely be doing collab with brands, and that's a thing that I want to achieve. Like big
Yes.
brands, I like big one. I just want to do collab with everybody. That's the reason why I was always loved traveling and meeting up with people and sharing things. And right now everything is getting even harder on my side. You know, tattoo artists now doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
They're not tattoo artists, they are tattooers. Everybody is a tattooer now.
Yeah.
Because
I was having the conversation just today. Like,
I know it sucks to hear it, but there's no tattoo artists anymore. There's only few left. Because now they're all tattooers. Tattooers is just like people who learn a skill, use an also right now it's everything easy. It's just you don't even have to put the effort to learn or trace something. I had to trace, like you trace it with the iPad, it's not the same fucking shit. Because you can put things that you do one side and you speculate on the other one, and that's it. Like I had to fucking trace every single shit I drew. And now it's everything so easy, and now they even call themselves tattoo artists. No man, I'm sorry. There's no more tattoo artists. They're just tattooers. People who use a pen and do work. And it's not even, there's no art about it anymore. Like you go into tattoo shop now, there are fucking dentists and like hospital rooms. You feel sick because it's too white. There's not even a painting or drawing. Like the cool thing about tattoo shop is you get in and drawings
art.
everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no space. Like I remember in one of my first shops with my mentor, we had no space on the fucking wall. Like none. Like even the frame there was no space between the frame. There was literally like plugged like Legos. It was like everything full. And the first tattoo shop where I put my foot in was like that. Art.
Yeah.
So now you gotta take off the art part of tattooists. They're just tattooists.
Yeah, just commissions.
Yeah,
and
it's just work. It's not even art anymore about it. Oh yeah, I do this. And also, as I said before, like now people have even the balls to come tell you how to do your job. And oh no, I want it like that. I'm like, shut up. You go to like, I don't know, like a tattoo artist is literally like a mechanic or like somebody that comes in your house to fix the water. You're gonna tell him how to do his job? No, I don't think so, man.
No.
You even pay him $50 just for the exit. Like I don't know if you have it here and in other countries, but in Italy we have it. If you call like an electrician or something. Yeah. Even if they don't find shit or they just had to pull something or push a little button or fix a little shit, they have you pay them like for the exit. You have to give them money anyway.
Yeah, you do.
And are you gonna tell him how to do his job?
Fuck no.
You know what I mean? And you cannot tell how to do the job of a tattoo artist. That's why I say there's no tattoo artists, because now they are tattooists, and of course people tell them what to do because they don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like we have the fine line style. It's not a style. It's the basic of fucking tattooing. That's the basics. If you don't know how to do that, bro, you don't know how to tattoo. And people don't even know how to do that. They do with the gray wash. Like, how are you supposed to do a tattoo with a gray wash, man? Like
gray wash is diluted ink, right?
Yeah, diluted ink, black. They do it with the gray straight away.
So it looks thinner?
Yeah, so it looks more delicate because people like delicate stuff now.
But is it gonna last?
Nah, it doesn't. That's the point of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know the light, and they know that after some years with the sun and life and shit, it will fade, and probably you won't even be able to see it anymore, or you will see what's left of it.
Yeah.
Now it's more about image. Tattooing is not about how nice is the picture that you take when the tattoo is fresh.
That's
Is how it stays with time. That's what tattoo is. That's what art is. It's something that you make, and it has to stay good until the end of times. Like, you know.
Especially on a living thing, like living canvas. Like
Yeah, exactly, on a
skin.
body. I don't understand this. But still, this bring me back to the book I'm doing with Jean, because we know that we can do all the art that we want, but like a book is still a book. There's always gonna stay one of those books. Like somebody is gonna 20 years gonna find the book and be like, oh shit, look at this.
Yeah, I see it as a timeless object.
Yeah, it's like, a timeless thing. And books are more timeless than a t-shirt or than a hoodie or than
a body.
Yeah, than a body as well. Yeah, because somebody can die. People always comes to me. That happens a lot. It's like, oh, but why do you do that? Why do you do that? It's forever. And I'm like, nah, what is forever? Tomorrow you might die. It's not forever. You had one day. You had 24 hours. Your lifetime. Yeah. Like, maybe I'll go on and I live until 100. Who knows?
Still.
How do I fucking know that I go? Maybe you never know. And that's why I don't like when people say a tattoo is forever, because forever is literally unthinkable. Or it's different for everybody. My forever is not your forever.
That's right.
You never fucking know.
That's right. Final question.
Oh, all right.
For my own cultural growth.
Aye.
What are you listening to recently? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you playing?
Okay, that's fun, because lately, and that's gonna be weird, I'm listening to classic music.
Really?
Yeah, like Debussy or...
Oh, I love Debussy.
Yeah, I'm listening to some piano, and lately I like classic music. I fucking love it. It keeps me calm. Like, I smoke and I love it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Bach, Beethoven, whoever you want to put, just listen to it. Yeah. Also, one of my favorites is from Amélie, which is a French movie. The soundtrack from Amélie.
Jan Tiersen?
Jan Tiersen. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly him. Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, lately I like him a lot, and I'm listening to Claire de Lune of Debussy.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. In the morning, if I start with that lately, I'm happy as fuck.
Have you been listening to Amélie since you're in Paris? Do you get the vibe?
No, that's funny. No, but I heard it playing in my head in background, or we have, what is it, La Vie en Rose sometimes. When you walk to Paris, in your head at some point it's gonna come. It's fun. But yeah, music-wise, I'm listening to classic music, classical music. Classical, that's correct, I think.
Yes.
Much better. Watching, dioramas videos, a lot of them. I wanna shout out the guy because his name is Bill Making Stuff.
Okay. Hi,
it's
Bill.
Hilarious. He's hilarious, and thanks to him, I start doing this stuff. So
I'll definitely watch.
I had to fucking shout out. Yeah, I had to.
Of course.
It's a great dude, super funny, hilarious, and he makes me passionate about it. I just love it. I watch his videos on repeat, and it's crazy. Yeah, pretty nice. But I also love horror movies, so I always watch horror movies. Yeah,
okay.
Mostly all the time.
Do you have top 3 for me that you would recommend?
Okay, Conjuring, definitely.
Oh my god, I remember that one.
Is my favorite. Yeah.
I really loved Conjuring up until the end, when it turns out like it's a religious thing. Then my attention
because with
off.
possession and stuff,
but
it
I
has
remember
to be religious,
there was a turning point at the end in the basement or something with the chair or whatever.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
I remember. Okay, yeah. But yeah, Conjuring, definitely. Another one.
Are you more into, I don't know, scary horror?
I'm more into possessions
or more
like
gore.
Yeah, because ESP. No, how is it? Paranormal phenomenon.
Yeah.
Ghosts. But yeah, mostly about possessions and demons and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty funny for me. Yeah, I know for everybody it's not like that, but Yeah, I like I don't know, other two movies. Yeah, The Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Now it came out the second movie, but nice, crazy Spanish movie.
Oh, is it the one
The
on
book,
Netflix?
yeah.
Okay,
Now
okay.
it's the second one.
Yeah, I saw the second one came out, but I haven't seen the first one yet. Okay.
You watched the second one?
No.
The
I haven't
second
watched
one, no?
any of them, but I saw yesterday there was like
But
brand new.
watch the second one and then the first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, trust me.
Okay.
Okay.
I will.
Watch the second one and then the first one. That's one. That's nuts. That's completely nuts because it's not really horror like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more psychological thriller
I love
and
that.
like crazy. If we have to put psychological thriller, then Red Dragon is another movie that I love.
Yes, it's from the
Hannibal Lecter
Yeah, that's
series.
right.
Yeah, like Silence of the Lambs.
Red Dragon. Is it the one with the French actor Gaspard?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah.
What else
Good.
was in the list? Yeah, music-wise, that videos and movies. I'm doing that. What
I asked if you
else?
played anything. I don't know if you play video games or board games or whatever. I'm always curious.
No, I never been like a PlayStation guy
Yeah.
or board game.
okay.
I play chess
Okay.
from time to time. I don't play it that often,
Mm-hmm.
but if I play something, yeah, maybe it's that one.
Okay.
I usually spend my time drawing and
Yeah.
painting and
I figured.
doing dioramas, engraving, and doing everything I can. I have a lot of different things I do. I also go, if you want to say play, I'm a skateboarder, so
Okay.
I skateboard. Yeah,
Cool.
I go and skate. That maybe as a play thing.
Yeah, it is. If you find it playful and
Yeah,
fun,
it's really,
entertaining.
yeah. Even though like I can feel that I'm getting older,
Yeah.
I die every time I go out. Like I skate, I'm like, yeah, 1 hour, and then I'm done for 2 days, and okay, I'm never gonna do it anymore. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, that's maybe if you want to put it as a thing that I do as
Good.
play. Yeah, that would be it.
Cool. I'm done on my part. Do you have any
that's cool.
questions, other shout outs? I don't know, philosophical word to end the episode?
Philosophical word. Philosophical word. I said it before. Tomorrow I promise to no one if I had to say somebody.
Yeah.
If I have to say something, sorry. Shout out to Jean, of
Yes.
course. To you. Thank you for having me. It
Of
was really
course.
nice. Fun. First time ever I'm doing something like that.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
It is actually nice. It is a conversation, pretty chill, nothing.
It's very fun because you didn't know what you were gonna do, and I didn't know who I was gonna meet.
Yeah, that's perfect. It was like we were 50-50. Like
Yeah.
we met and we
We met
already were
halfway.
like, okay, I don't know. We
That's good.
Like still duality. I
Turned
think.
out great.
Yeah. It was good. It is good to be able to speak English with somebody
Yeah.
that actually understands me.
Yes.
And can answer
Of
properly
course.
to my question and everything. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, shout out for sure to Jean, as I said. Shout out to you for having me here, the
Mm-hmm. Thank
owner
you.
of the place.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
we
we'll
wait
meet.
all of you in February, man.
Yes.
Big news soon for the book. Hopefully, I don't want to spoil anything, but hopefully we're going to try and before the end of the year, we want the book out.
Okay.
For sure, book will come out before the workshop and
That's good.
our show all together. Yeah, as I said, everybody, it's gonna be something crazy. We're gonna
Stay
try and do
tuned.
something new. And yeah, something new, like we will see something unexpected, even from us, because I had crazy idea and Jean apparently agrees with my crazy ideas. So maybe things can go all the way to something else. But yeah, we wait all of you for this workshop and you will hear the rest from Jean, I think.
Yes.
I will never do because he will say everything in French. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for having
Stay
me. It
tuned.
was amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you all for listening to this episode. Find Simone on Instagram at smalls_letters. Stay tuned for his upcoming book and workshop in Paris. This week was side A of the project. Next week is side B with his partner Jean Ewen. Thank you for this trade. See you soon.
Le phénomène tatouage, finalement, n'affecte qu'une minorité de gens en France, non?